Welcome back to this channel where you will find the strangest stories, never heard before from Reddit users, their experiences of glitches in the Matrix. If you have a glitch, comment down below in the comments section or emailed your story to storyscary152@gmail.com to add it to the next collection of glitches. Hi, I'm JammingScientist on Reddit and I want to tell you about how my pills disappeared and reappeared. This experience was over a year ago, so I might have some things mixed up, but the concept is the same. I have really bad anemia, and so I have to take birth control pills so that I only get a period once every few months so that I don't become even more anemic. Sorry if it's too much info, but it's important to note because birth controls have the day of the week on the pack, so you can keep up track of them and know whether you've skipped a day or not. Since I am sometimes bad at remembering to taking these pills every day, I have them in my room in my drawer so that before I go to bed, I can remember to take them. Like I said, the pills are labeled so I know if I took it for the day or not already. One Monday, I went to go take my daily pill. Now, this particular Monday, I knew I had forgotten to take the Sunday pill. So it should have been present when I went to take the one for Monday. But it wasn't there. So slightly baffled, I thought maybe I did take it and forgot, took the Monday pill and went to sleep. After that, everything was okay until Thursday rolls around. At this point, I have remembered to take the pills every single day, so the Sunday through Wednesday pills should all be gone, including the Sunday pill which had randomly disappeared earlier on Monday. So I should only have the Thursday, Friday and Saturday pills left to take. But instead, the Wednesday and the Sunday pill were back, as if they had respawned, making only the Monday and the Tuesday pills gone. That was really weird, but I've never had that happen again. The pills stayed in my room, so no one else would have been able to touch or move them except for me. Therefore, no one would have accidentally taken the pills either. Even if someone did, the pills have to be pushed through foil to remove them from the pack, so it would have been obvious if that had happened. Yet the foil was still intact. Hi, this was sent by Skillzthatkillz via email. We appreciate him for the content and adding value to the channel. Okay, this didn't happen to me, but to a friend of mine that told me the story around 4 years ago. What transpired turned out to be, probably, the strangest story I've ever heard. Still scratching my head to this day. One day, my friend, we will call him Brian, were hanging out at his house, when his father sent him by text a couple of pictures reminding Brian about it being the 30th anniversary of him winning a race that took place yearly in his hometown. With a puzzled expression on his face, he hands me the phone for me to look at the photos and read an old local newspaper article. The photos had my friend Brian on a first-place pedestal at about age 12, smiling from ear to ear, holding a large trophy on one side and an envelope in the other hand. I began reading the article, that talked about him winning a hometown race that normally has around 800 to 1,000 participants in it every year, and not just winning his age division, but the overall winner as well. This is when Brian snags his phone back from me and says to me, "You may not believe me as I tell you this, but I'm telling you right now, I have no idea what this race is about." I looked at him kind of stunned and said, "It's very evident that you won this race with all the photos and captions and your father congratulating you on the 30th anniversary." So, apparently he remembers this occasion very well. I'm sure your family, friends, and others recall it too. He proceeds to tell me that they all remember it, but I have no memory of it whatsoever. I have run the race a couple of times, but never more than a middle-of-the-pack runner growing up. So you would think that winning a race of upwards of 1,000 other runners would stand out in my memory bank somewhere. I went to ask him next, did you have some sort of head injury or trauma in your life that might be preventing you from remembering this moment? He shakes his head as I'm saying this and goes, no, I have never had anything traumatic growing up in my childhood or adulthood that would supersede a memory like this, nor did I ever have any kind of injury to my head or otherwise, that would prevent me from remembering this moment. He just looks me in the eye and says with the absolute straight face, me winning this race never happened. How I am not recollecting this moment, while everyone else in my life, like family and friends, do. I have no answer for what was mentioned earlier. This was only brought up by my family just a few years ago. And never have they ever mentioned anything about it ever before. Only recently has it been talked about by my inner circle of friends and my family. But as he goes on to say, you would just think that something so big like this, at least pieces and parts of the race, I would remember, but only these articles from the local newspaper from 30 years ago that my dad apparently has saved, is the only information that I have, except for testimony from my peers. To this day, I'm still scratching my head, partly because of what was said and by whom. Brian has no sense of humor and is monotone in every emotion. But this was different. Not only did he show some stress and concern in his voice, but looked like he was on the verge of tears. I've known this dude for almost a decade and never did he speak of this race. His accolades have all been academic in liberal arts and space sciences. Did he jump parallel worlds, or is this a glitch in the matrix? Kinda makes you wonder. Hi, I'm Lemon Pepper 2021 and my glitch is about my son's dummy appeared out of nowhere. Okay, so this happened quite literally an hour ago, honestly fucking baffled. My son wakes up crying, it's usually he's dropped his dummy out the cot, and it's a case of putting it back in his mouth and leaving the room. I go upstairs and move him back to lying down and move his blankets, couldn't find his dummy anywhere, albeit it was dark in the room, I searched everywhere. I searched all under the cot with my phone light, searched around where he could have possibly thrown it on the floor, searched every gap in the slots at the side of the cot, picked my son up again and put his blanket on the floor. I shook the blankets quite vigorously, nothing in the cot, nothing attached to my son, absolutely nowhere to be seen. At this point I'm stressing cause my son is screaming the house down and won't go back to sleep without his dummy. My girlfriend comes upstairs, picks up my son, moves the blanket and at first nothing was there, but within a split second I fucking saw it come through the mattress, like I actually saw it come through the mattress. Where my girlfriend was stood, she didn't or wouldn't have seen it and was in and out the bedroom in a few seconds, and it never really registered to me until I came back downstairs with what I've just witnessed. I've tried fathoming how on earth it happened, but I swear to God that cot was completely empty when I took the blanket out, shook it like mad, put it on the floor, picked my son up and checked. That was last week. So this week it's happening again, my son's dummy or pacifier, vanishing and reappearing. Well, I shit you not, it's only happened again, but to save confusion this time round I'll call it a pacifier. Same kind of scenario, I've just fed my son his bedtime bottle. I saw his pacifier in his crib as I was getting to the end of his bottle, finished his bottle and picked up the pacifier and put it in my son's mouth. I turn around to grab the bottle before heading out the room, and he starts crying again. Thought his pacifier has probably come out and needs it putting back in. It's nowhere to be seen. I am stressing out again, my partner comes in to help find it and cannot find it anywhere. Well, this is where it's really freaking weird, man. My partner leaves the room and goes and looks in our kids' room. To my astonishment, the pacifier is in our eldest son's room. I know I'm definitely not going crazy, but this was 100,000% in his mouth because I literally put it in for him. how the hell did it jump into my eldest son's room? Hi, I'm cleanbubble on Reddit and my mundane glitch is about my letterbox. This glitch isn't going to change my life, but it's definitely left me confused. Our letterbox changed. But apparently it didn't. The letterbox is at the top of a long driveway and every day when I get home from work I stop at the top to check for mail, even though I know it only comes every second day, it's a habit. I went to check it yesterday and noticed we had a new letterbox. The old one was brown and had a flap with no handle. This one is a horrid green color and the flap has a golden handle. When I went to check it, it kinda stuck how you expect a new letterbox to do. I got in and thanked my flatmate for getting a new letterbox, even though I preferred the look of the old one, but hey, I didn't pay for it, and he looked at me strangely. He insisted he didn't, so I made him walk up the hill to see it, as we thought maybe the landlord did it without telling the two of us. He comes back down, and I'm left even more confused when he says that's the letterbox we've always had. To save an argument, he called the landlord, who reminded us he legally has to tell us beforehand of any changes and that he didn't change it. What happened to the old letterbox? I like to think in some alternative dimension, someone with a fancy letterbox got home to find it replaced with an old one instead. Hi, I'm available_science686 and my glitch is, how the world flickers sometimes. It happens to me usually every few days that I'll be going about my day like normal and for a split second everything goes completely dark. It looks exactly like when you blink. Just a split second where there's nothing, and then everything resumes as normal. But I didn't close my eyes, so without the sensation of blinking. It happens indoors or outside, doesn't matter. Day or night. And I know I'm not blinking because I feel my eyes open and not moving. A couple of times I've been in the middle of reading something when it happens. I kinda thought my eyes were broken or something, but I talked to my mom, and she says the exact same thing happens to her. So it's not just me. I guess I'm just posting to wonder if anyone else experiences this. Is there some explanation for this, or does the whole world just flicker randomly? Hi, I'm ziggypeachfuzz on Reddit and my glitch is about extraordinary luck or 9 lives. I've almost always had inexplicably weirdly good luck when it comes to not getting hurt. It's kind of a reoccurring theme. This has been going on long before my grandpa passed, who I'll mention. About a year ago, I was crossing the street and was run over by a car. It came out of nowhere going about 40 according to witnesses. When I saw it at the very last second, it was just a gray blur and I heard my deceased grandfather clear as day say forcefully, "Go limp." Now I've never heard voices or sounds that weren't there, but I heard this clear as day like I said. I dropped all my weight. I felt myself slide up the hood, my head hit the glass, a woman scream from behind the glass, then silence and the sensation of floating like in a pool. That sensation felt like it lasted hours. It ended abruptly with a sharp pain in my left foot as I hit the ground, followed quickly by a sharp pain in the back of my head as I fell backward. When the EMTs examined me on scene, they were baffled that I had no contusions anywhere except my head and a broken ankle. They kept insisting the injuries were consistent with a jumper. It took the 4 witnesses at the scene to convince them that I'd slid up someone's hood, then flown through the air like a gymnast who didn't stick the landing. Total injuries ended up being cracked left heel and shattered ankle from landing, no bruises, ankle cracks when I walk sometimes. Hi, I'm 6-Pack Cola on Reddit, and my glitch is about my pillow acted as a siren. 5 minutes ago, I was laying in my bed, my brother was on the bed next to me, sleeping, and my father was in the shower. I needed to go to the toilet, but the hotel that I'm staying in has a toilet separate from its bathroom and sink, so I was laying with my eyes closed, waiting for my father to leave the bathroom. I already had a pillow on me, covering my legs and abdomen, and brought it closer so that my head rested on it, and I was essentially spooning it. I began to hear a light buzzing sound where my ear was sunk into the pillow. I thought it was the sound of my father in the shower at first, but then it escalated to a wailing sound, one of a siren. I moved my head away from the pillow and the sound immediately stopped. I put my head back to the pillow and the siren resumed. It was reminiscent of Siren Head, or even just a tornado siren. What could this have been? Hi, I'm yayaainks on Reddit and my glitch is about a repaired t-shirt. About a year ago, I ordered my boyfriend a shirt. Probably not relevant, but it was an orange Unearth Band t-shirt. The first time he wore it a week or so later, he was doing yard work outside, and when he came in, I noticed a rip in the back, near his right shoulder blade, about 4 inches wide. I pointed it out and said something like, "Wow, you could have just said you don't like it." We laughed. I forget what he said back. It's kind of a running joke between us that he hates my gifts, lol. Yesterday I was doing laundry and came to this shirt. The rip is gone. Completely gone. I showed my boyfriend, and he clearly remembers the day it got ripped. Remembers the brief conversation, us laughing. I don't know how long it's been gone. If it's been a while, and I just didn't notice. Or he doesn't wear it regularly. I assumed because of the tear, but maybe he really just hates it, hahaha. We've tried to think of any possible explanation but just stumped. How? Hi, I'm Affectionate-Sock899 on Reddit, and I have a strange story to tell you. Please keep an open mind. I worked at a summer camp for about a month. I went there when I was younger and had a good time working with the kids. Just something to do. It's on a pretty large lake, which I'm going to leave the name out of for safety reasons. Anyway, it was pretty harsh winds, and everyone had to be locked in their cabins, but I was called to the office, because I had to help them deliver things like flashlights. It was like 7:30 p.m., so it would be getting dark soon. On the way there I saw one of my campers, well, not one in my cabin but a small kid with some problematic behavior run through the main field. I was immediately worried that he'd get hurt, so I chased after him. I saw him ran to a pretty big or deep stream, and saw him kinda disappear. On the way there I slipped and fell. I woke up with him, but everything was off. Usually, when I go to the astral or when I lucid dream, I feel like I'm almost in third person even though I'm not. That feeling wasn't there. I woke up with the camper, let's call him W, in a muddy foggy terrain. In front of us were these blackish grayish colored cliffs. It was horrifying. He looked up at me and asked where we were. I said I have no idea. Then we saw some weird whitish looking animal, on 4 legs, and then suddenly we were back in the river. He was unconscious in the river. I thought he might have hit his head on a rock, and it was raining hard, so I brought him to the nurse. He didn't have any serious injuries, but he eventually came up to me later and asked about that place and why we were there. This confirmed that he was there, consciously with me. It wasn't just my imagination or whatever. I just shrugged it off and forgot about it. Then, about a month before this, I visit my dentist. I have 2 indentured canines which I gotta get removed. They put me on the chair and numbed part of my mouth but the wrong side, so I was feeling everything, and it was horrible. Then suddenly I blinked, and I was in a big open field, on a grassy hill. The sky was pinkish, and I thought I could hear a stream. I saw trees in the distance on another grassy hill. I looked around me, got up and walked around for a bit. I even ripped up some of the grass, then I blinked again, and I was outside the building. Everyone looked away from me for just a second, and then I was gone. Then they eventually saw me out the window and ran down to me, asking why I had left. I was confused and thought I may be sleepwalking or something and slipped past the 20-some people, but I also was in the weird patient gown which didn't have pockets. There were no grassy areas even close by, and yet somehow the grass I ripped up was still in my hands. When they found me they asked how I got it and took some of it away from me. I have some blades of grass though, so I kept it in a bottle locked behind my wall. Then I left the camp. My parents came to pick me up since I'd be staying with them for a while afterward. However, a few nights right before leaving, I had the most vivid dreams of what my day the next morning would look like. When I'd wake up, the only difference in the dream is a small detail changed about me. But everything so perfectly played out where I could know exactly what someone would say and they would say exactly like it was in my dream. Sometimes complete sentences. I knew the fights or accidents that might happen. It was like divination to me, but on a whole new level. Then I had a dream, a breakthrough I'm calling it. I was suddenly younger, skating around a city. Before fighting some random people. Then I woke up, in a weird castle area. But there was another me. I remember him talking, and then there were even more people. Some I don't know but constantly in my dreams. But I was able to talk to them and touch them, unlike when I was dreaming. One of me who was skating around said he was like 2024 or something like that. I have more details in my dream journal, but then I saw girls I dreamt of in other dreams all around me. Some trying to hug me or crying but held back by others. Then I asked where I was. A friend named Louise said to me, "We're all from different worlds." I asked what defined one world from the next, and then someone called my name. I didn't recognize him, but I felt like he was me. He explained that he's 001, and to think of it as a number scale. People closer to 1 are hotter and people at 10, or further from the 1 are colder. And he had this weird fiery blue aura around him that seemed strong. He said I was 003, and I was hotter, and that the other me who was skating around 2024 or whatever, brought me here as a joke, and that everything there they called it the hub was a day ahead, like how Australia is ahead of America. And then I was forcefully taken back and woke up. But right before leaving, I stole some headphones from his pocket, which I still have right now. They're not labeled. I can't trace them back to anyone. It's so scary. And then I could remember more times I was almost forcefully sent somewhere else. To a new environment, with different species or none at all. I know this can't be dreaming anymore. I know it's not astral or lucid dreaming. People keep saying it's an out-of-body experience, but I want to know how does it happen, what makes it happen. I want to be able to have control to where I travel, and not just being stolen whenever. I don't understand how can I bring things back wherever I was. Hi, I'm kiniAli and my glitch is about the same car over and over again. A few years ago my husband and I were driving to Utah from Cali. We were in the final couple of hours and it was around 2 a.m. and we were both exhausted. It was just us on this lonely stretch of dark desert road. There was literally nothing surrounding us except flat, dark desert, and that's all we had to look forward to. So it was no wonder we both were starting to struggle to stay awake. After a while a car came up behind us and passed us. It was a red Corvette and my husband made a comment about how he hadn't seen a Corvette in a while. But then maybe 20 minutes later, that same car passed us again. I looked at my husband as if to say, "Is that the same car?" And I thought it was. We ultimately shrugged it off. There hadn't been any exits or pull-offs since they first passed us, but I thought maybe they had pulled off somewhere on the side of the road and we just didn't notice them. Another 10 to 15 minutes pass, and the exact same car passes us again. We both were in disbelief. The stretch of road was still the same, there wasn't anywhere they could pull off where we wouldn't be able to see them. I knew it was the same car from the license plate because it had the initials DC on it, and it had a Denver, Colorado license frame, and I had just mentally connected that. The car passed us one final time when we were about an hour away from the city, and needless to say we weren't sleepy anymore. Hi, I'm McAllen25 or bust, and for the most part I thought all of these stories, glitches, were made up, and well now I have my own and my preceding understanding of reality is shattered. So I am an atheist, and I largely dismissed the supernatural or plausibility of glitches, for example. I'm the one to watch ghost shows just to see how they fake them. Well then this happened last week. And now well I just don't know what to think. My girlfriend and myself live alone, and up until 2 years ago we had a small dog, a Havanese, that passed at 17 years old, previously my parents' dog. He would always do this thing where he would come up to a door he wants in and would scratch it 3 times to be let in. The little bastard destroyed all our doors, but anyways. Well on Thursday night my girlfriend and I were having, time in the bedroom, then abruptly we heard the same 3 scratches at our bedroom door. Directionally it sounded low to the ground, and was the exact same manner as what our dog would do, except he's been dead for 2 years. Sorry if this is the wrong sub, but I don't know of any others groups that seem appropriate for this. How is my dead dog scratching my door? Has anyone had experience with pets, glitching, or anything similar? Hi, I'm Antec_G_animations on Reddit. I've done my daily morning routine, and then, woke up. I've just finished elementary school in Poland, 8 years. Most of my days look the same. Wake up, go to the toilet, eat breakfast, go to school. One day I woke up, and as usual, went to the toilet, did my business, and went downstairs to eat breakfast when I heard my dad's voice. He was yelling at me to wake up or I'll be late for school. I was so confused. In a second my living room turned into my bedroom and I was laying in my bed. Turns out that I was dreaming the whole time. That was super weird. So we come to the end of his compilation of glitches. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more glitches and strange stories.